This is Triple Play Fantasy Basketball. Back at it with a special 2023 NBA Draft Freshman. Should I stay or should I go? We're going to take a look at the top recruits of this past year and see if it's a better choice if they stay, if they go, and a crystal ball on whether they take my advice or not. So you see a couple top flyer qualified names here. We're going to take a look at the ESPN top 100 of the last year. I'm your host, Coach James Lewis. As we get right into it, number one, Dariq Lively. He will be somebody we'll talk about. Dariq Whitehead, too, as well. Nick Smith started off rough. He's looking like a lock in the lottery. Yes, me. Dillon Mitchell at 4. Talk about him. Amari Bailey at 5. Keontae George looks locked up. Kyle Phillips looks like he's got a spot in the first round, maybe at least top second. Kel'el Ware, should I stay or should I go candidate? Brandon Miller, he's a lock. Jarris Walker, lock for the NBA. Jordan Walsh, we'll talk about him. Chris Livingston and Julian Phillips as well. Grady Dick, he looks like a lock. Him and Anthony Black, Gigi Jackson. Adem Bona, we don't know. As we keep scrolling down, JJ Starling, we're not talking about him, but he needs to stay in school. Cason Wallace looks like he's going pro. Cam Whitmore, Jalen Hoods-Scafino, all impressive freshman year. No, I'm not going to talk about every single one of these freshmen. Judah Mintz, we'll take a dive into his freshman year and look at him a little bit more. Jed Howard, Bryce Sensabaugh, attaboy, good for you. Way to put yourselves in the lottery top. As we keep scrolling, we're staying. Oh, except for Taylor Hendricks. He's looking like he could go lottery or just outside in the teens. And Noah Clowney. Looks like he should be a late first round pick. And then the rest of these names, good luck for the future and staying back. Let's get to the main meal here. Starting with Dariq Whitehead. Actually, not starting with Dariq. His teammate out of Duke. We're going to start with Dariq Lively. Dariq Lively, in his 18 minutes per game, is averaging 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2.3 blocks. So it's impressive what he's doing as far as in the interior and defense is concerned. I think he could benefit to stay in school. I think he should yield the right of way, depending on what happens in the conference tournament and what happens in the NCAA tournament. If you're talking about my crystal ball, this kid is going to go pro. So I think with next year's draft being pretty weak, that he could benefit and definitely go lotto. And at this point, I think somebody in the late first round is going to gamble on him deep. Dariq Whitehead, he's in here because he's had a putrid freshman year. Seemed to be injury riddled. His talent screams like he's an NBA pro and that he should go and be a first round pick. I think he will ultimately do that. If I'm looking at my crystal ball, I think he should yield the right of way though. Test what's going to happen in these conference tournaments, NCAA tournament if Duke makes it, and see what happens in that combine work. But what a talent. And speaking of talent, number 4 in that ESPN 100 that we just looked at includes the likes of Dillon Mitchell. And in Dillon Mitchell's case, 5 points, 4 boards, playing on a high-level Texas team. Chris Beard has not found him the most likable freshman. He likes his vets. My crystal ball tells me that he stays and he benefits from coming back to college. Another stayer, 5 in the top 100 for ESPN, fan favorite Amari Bailey. And a team that could end up cutting down the nets and say he balls out and goes ham. You can see him find himself back in the draft ranks, but right now he's out of it. He hasn't been able to shoot the three well, and he's made some poor decisions along the way. But he slices and dices when he goes to the rim and finishes very well at that point of attack. So I'm not counting out the lefty, formerly from Sierra Canyon. But right now, tells me come back. Kel'el Ware, shoot, if he goes, he's getting drafted. If he comes back, he could hypothetically get drafted at a higher state to prove himself. Maybe it takes a transfer, but he's fallen himself out the rotation. And much like Dereck Lively, the two big men have not found their footing in college basketball this year. So weigh my options out. Now, Jordan Walsh is interesting. Your number 11 recruit. Defensively, he's a standout. Like I really like him for projected for the next level, and I think he'll get drafted if he wanted to. His inconsistency shooting the ball makes you think, where would you draft him? Because, if that doesn't pan out, then that's something that, that's a wasted pick. But with his defensive upside, I like him as a glue guy going forward. It could benefit to stay. Maybe yield the right away. Let's see what Arkansas does a little bit here and what he does in the combine. But ultimately, I see him as a go. Moving on, a clear stay here for Chris Livingston. It's not been the greatest freshman season for Kentucky. We've seen a lot in recent years of guys in the top 100 ESPN at this size going to that school and just not reaching their potential. This is Guard University, and a kid like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just completely balled out of control when it came to the conference tournament, and he ended up going first round for a reason. Chris Livingston has gotten an opportunity. It just hasn't done too well. Doesn't scream NBA pro. Moving on to 13, Julian Phillips plays on a really good Tennessee team, and 9 points, 5 boards isn't the greatest, but he doesn't shoot threes. And you didn't need that on the next level. 6'8", 205 is great size, but I think he would benefit to stay. Work on your shooting mechanics, come back stronger. And lastly, somebody was deeper down there. Judah Mintz is on the fence about coming back, but he's had 9 games with 20+. Shoot, I could see him going late first. He's a go to me. And my crystal ball says he is a go lock. So that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown on freshmen. Stay or go, come back to school. Of course, a lot can change with these conference tournaments and the NCAA tournament right around the corner. Until next time, I'm Coach James Lewis. Look out for my 2023 NBA Mock Draft 3.0 that will probably come out after the NCAA tournament. For Triple Play and all my guys holding it down, we're out of here.
Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, Triple Play, yeah.